What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Manic Minds podcast. My name's Brandon. I'm gathered here today with Corey and Cody. So we're going to be talking about today's episode's a little creepy stories, scary stories, or stuff that we really just find interesting. And it might end up going to the bedroom because that shit gets creepy anyways. So
Let's hope we don't go there.
He said it's 3 seconds into the podcast. He said we are gathered here today.
Oh, yeah.
It might end up going to the bedroom.
all right.
That's
So I got a little baby story. I didn't want to plagiarize the whole thing. Just took cliff notes, I guess. Um, can't remember where this is at, but maybe I'll find out when I read it.
the way to set the scene.
Oh, quote of the day.
Oh, let's get it.
All right. Fucketh around and findeth out.
I was really thinking, like, Brandon wants to do some inspirational quotes.
Honestly, so was I.
I don't know why I expected anything different than you just taking a fucking a meme quote and putting the fancy wording behind it of a villager or some shit. Fuck it around and find it out.
That's funny. Thou shalt fucketh around and findeth out.
We just put it added up in the fancy like cursive writing. Okay. Words of inspiration from Brandon.
Bravo, by the way.
All right. This one is titled "It Wasn't a Little Girl." So a couple, husband and wife, went camping at a remote lake in New Mexico. There was about 10 people that accompanied on the camping trip. With another 6 at a different campsite. Couldn't read my letter or my number. It was nighttime, and both groups were doing typical camping activities: marshmallows, weenies on the fire.
Weenie somewhere else too.
See, bedroom stuff. Uh, it was nighttime, and both groups were doing typical camping activities, making s'mores, having drinks, when they heard a sound like a scream coming from a little girl crying for help. So the group went looking for her. They went to the woods. There was a field behind the campsite. A camper saw a tall, what the fuck is that? Oh, pale. Apparently, I can't write pale. Tall, pale white figure standing about 100 feet away from the campsite while making whatever noise. But as the campers got closer to the figure started backing off and then disappeared into the trees. Jesus Christ. That's the big dog.
What, just for context, and I need to paint a vivid picture. What noise was this creature, tall, pale looking motherfucker making?
I don't know.
Picturing him. I don't know. Make the noise, Brandon. I'm picturing.
Oh!
Sounded like the little girl, but
He was a raven.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. So that's number one. Have y'all watched the YouTube fucking video of Helltown?
No.
No.
It's supposed to be like, I guess there's multiple different legends in this town. It gets kind of weird. But specifically, one of them talks about like a Wendigo, the Wendigo.
I love mangoes.
Uh, and it's actually in Boston, Ohio. So apparently in 1974, things took a turn for the worst, because when they encountered this creature, it was in 74, and actually an army photographer, videographer, whatever, him and his crew were going over there to fucking videotape some stuff. Um, and then come to find out, like, people were ending up going missing, like, throughout the year or whatever. And then it was middle of the night, they get attacked or whatever. Somebody spooks them. Who knows if they actually got attacked? But actually, one of the army dudes and army people, whatever, actually get injured from this thing, which is kind of. I'm curious if it was just like just a villager.
Wait, so yeah, so an army guy got injured. You think
Yeah.
there'd be some reports?
Yeah, and apparently they tried to make the reports, but nobody really. They were just like, "Hey, cool, we'll look into it," but nobody looked into it.
Yeah, it's got to be a bit. If it was an army, they'd have to look into it more. You know what I mean?
Well, I
Dude
mean,
comes back with fucking a gash in his arm in the army. They're gonna be asking more questions. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
The villager at the hospital and the sheriffs are fucking dumb. I could see that. But if you're owned by the army, they're gonna be looking into a giant gash on you. You know what I mean? That's what I would assume. You're the one that's in the army.
Yeah, well, I
One of
mean,
your dudes came back with a giant gash in their arm or something, injured in some type of way that wasn't from combat, from a war combat situation. You'd be digging in.
I would be digging in, but probably nobody else higher up in the food chain would probably give a shit.
Not even if the dude came back with a crazy story.
No, no. I mean,
Really?
yeah. So, I mean, not to bring up terrible topics, but like Vanessa Gullion, right? Like, she was missing for how long? And
I don't know who that is. I'm ignorant on the situation.
so I want to she was in the army, was having some issues with like sexual harassment and stuff like that, and she made complaints about it. And then she went to the arms room, right? I don't know who did it, whatever. I didn't really look into it that much, but she was killed, like, yeah, just to shut her up. And whole units, like leadership, got wrecked because she made complaints and nobody did anything about it. And then unfortunately, she got murdered. Um, yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay, not to get off topic. I just didn't know.
yeah,
You figured that would make that a hell of a more serious situation, being the army and stuff, an armed force.
yeah,
But okay,
yeah.
back to topic. Villager or not.
Yep. All right. So, um, Boston, Ohio was founded in 1806. Um, original claim to fame was its a standing as the oldest village in Summit County. Um, Boston had a beautiful forest land that was being cut down by the government, until President Gerald Ford signed a bill that stopped it. The sentiment among the citizens who had no choice but to leave, and this is, I guess, another. It's not necessarily about the Wendigo, but other stuff that happens. Um, so the villagers, the citizens are getting pushed out, um, due to just shit that's happening in their town. So they're like, fuck it, don't want to live here anymore.
They could go camping there.
Right. Gerald Ford signed a bill that stopped the tree deforestation. Citizens had no choice but to leave their home, and it was expressed, or they did express, to leave their homes, and a message that was scrubbed on the walls and on the buildings. Um, now we know how the Indians felt, quote unquote. Becoming quickly vanishing town, um, practically overnight. The hellacious, area only continued to grow when the Forest Service acquired a dump. I can't remember. Can't pronounce the name, but like Krija dump in 1985. The rangers visiting the site became stupid ill and covered in rashes and all sorts of gross shit, I guess. And this
From
is
a
where,
dump from a factory. They allowed dumping in the area.
yeah. So
Okay.
they want to. They're trying to make it seem like it was kind of so it was a dump, but they're like with all the terrible stuff that's happened, they're like, cool, maybe it's like the plague, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
I got some theories brewing, so I want to make sure I got it right. Got it
yeah.
correct.
Covered in rashes, discovers that the dump was highly polluted with toxic chemicals. Where they came from, have no fucking idea.
The dump.
But yeah. Well, if the dump was being polluted, though, like somebody was dumping shit into the dump, as you do a dump. But
That's what I mean. The dump is already insanely polluted. So dumping more waste into a dump, it could literally just fucking be the dump itself causing all this stuff.
yeah,
That's what I would assume. Not a plague. That's
yeah,
technically what the plague was, a bunch of waste and the bacteria spreading and right on the doctor, but
okay, so there are actually in this town specifically, there's a number of different myths in the Boston area in Ohio.
Hilltown.
So the Presbyterian Church, which said to have built has been built by Satanists, complete with upside down crosses, and different scriptures. There was an abandoned bus, and it is said to be said to host. Oh yeah, so said to be host. So yeah, to a lingering ghost. Um, Apparently, there are talks of mutants at the dump and a monstrous snake known as the Peninsula Python. Apparently, this snake's supposed to be like the movie Anaconda Snake. Fucking absurd.
Just swimming through the dump.
Yeah, just
The trash snake.
the city still celebrates the snake to this day. Don't know why.
That's kind of cool.
Like
Yeah.
moth attraction.
Yeah, I guess it's like them off, man. I didn't even fucking think about it. Update. November of 2016, all abandoned buildings were torn down.
Good. No more spot.
Update from 10 years ago almost. And that's it.
Update.
All right. I didn't get the other ones, but that'll be a later one.
But this was Helltown, right? This whole one was involved in a Helltown.
Yeah.
What are your theories? Do you really think a giant garbage snake is swimming around?
I mean, I bet that I don't know if it's a python, but I'm sure there's probably there could be a decent sized snake.
Yeah, there's probably a girthy snake. We all know how you see a giant snake, it turns from here to this.
Yeah.
So that you don't look like a bitch.
I'll run away from anything. I don't care.
If it's coming out of the dump, I'm running. Like
big or small. Oh, and it kind of reminds me. So have you all ever seen what is it? Love, Death, Robots?
Oh no. Seen
Yeah.
some.
I think I have.
There's a mythology of crazy shit.
Yeah. Just random wazoo shit, and every episode is different.
Yeah.
Fucking, there's specifically a dump monster, and in one of them,
We know it can mutate the fish and everything. It's not far-fetched to have a mutated snake running around, but do I think it's anaconda size? No, because there's wildlife people out there that would jump on that in a heartbeat to make a documentary about this motherfucker. And it's all about money. And that's why the attraction is even there, so they can draw tourists. It's all about I think that's what a lot of it is. Or my theory It's the natives themselves scaring people off, like a Scooby-Doo type episode.
Ah.
And they would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for that garbage snake. They're trying to push them away. The garbage snake's drawing people in.
Yeah.
Or it's the government just wanting a big place to dump their shit for very cheap. Again, all about money.
Yeah, say the wildlife service took over that town pretty much.
Yeah, and if you think the wildlife would take over, dumping wouldn't happen. Like,
I'm sure it's a mixture of all things that you just said combined. You throw enough money at wildlife people, they're gonna let you dump a little bit of stuff.
yeah.
Like it doesn't really matter.
You know what? I'm for the planet, but you go ahead and dump a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a big paycheck.
Yeah.
I've seen the I have Amazon Prime right now, the video, and I see stuff for Helltown Part 1, 2, and 3. So I'm about to start clicking into it and watch it. I didn't know what it was about. It looked like a cheesy ass horror western. But now that I know it's about the urban legends or myths around there, that's pretty interesting. I'll probably
Well, at least the one on YouTube was specifically about the Wendigo, but I don't know if it. I haven't. I fell asleep to it when I started watching it.
great research.
Yeah, I know.
No, hell yeah. It's so close too. I would love to make an episode of going there. That'd be fucking badass. Go camp there one weekend with the kids. See if one of them go get abducted by a Wendigo
Yeah.
or get eaten by a garbage snake. We got tons of bait.
Lincoln, stay here.
Lincoln, you wait right
Yeah.
there. Don't move a muscle.
You keep the fire going.
Yeah. Stoke the flames, boy.
I'm sure not many of you know. He's what, a year and a half?
Year and a half. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He can handle it.
He ain't afraid of the dark.
So just so you know, I'm not a bad parent. He likes playing fire. That's just him. But okay, next story.
Yeah.
You got another one, Brandon? Or you said those ones were finished?
And say I got two more.
So yeah, if you want to keep going, that's fine. Or if you want me to do mine, it's up to you.
Okay, these ones are quick. So in Alaska, according to an Inuit legend, the Quapalik, whatever, is a woman-like creature with long hair and long nails who dives into the water and tries to lure kids in so she can kidnap them. I don't know why. That's just all the information that was on that little urban legend thing.
Lake is this?
It was in Alaska.
Oh.
Yeah. Next.
What's that called? Almost sounds like a mer woman. But that can survive outside of water.
Legend of the Quapalik. Qualpalic.
Never heard of this one.
Me neither. And then apparently in Alabama, there's a dead. This is how it read. So there is a dead children playground. Okay, next to a maple.
Hey, I have a question. Hold on. Sorry to interrupt. Is this a playground made of dead children, or is it a playground for the dead children? Like the way that was worded was so strange.
Playground of dead children.
Yeah.
Monkey bars are made out of bodies.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, which one is it?
It just says there's a dead children's playground next to a Maple Hill Cemetery in Huntsville, where the swings sometimes move on their own.
Oh, the ghost babies are playing.
Yeah.
It's for the children.
And abducted children may have been buried in there. In there is 16 1960. Have they never heard of what a breeze is for the swings and shit?
Yeah, you'd have to see a video of that because you can tell when somebody's on the swing and when it's just moving because of the wind.
Yeah.
You never
Yeah,
know.
so-
Ghost people, they want to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
Or where did you say it was? Louisiana, Alabama?
Alabama, Huntsville.
Do they get? I don't know how far Alabama is down. Do they get like
Mississippi.
hurricanes?
I was gonna say strong winds.
Yeah,
I'm sure they do. Because
Hurricanes, they ain't a chance they get hurricanes. They're too far inland.
I don't know.
no thanks.
Louisiana isn't a coastline state or anything, not even close.
Louisiana definitely is.
Louisiana's on the coast of an ocean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
isn't that the one
that
that's
bad
next
with
to, like,
geography? I thought it was.
yeah, that's the one that's like on the. That's the boot state, right?
That's the boot state.
Yeah, that's the one that gets flooded. That's the one that got hit by Katrina, I think.
Florida. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. St. Louis.
Yeah,
St. Louis is not.
it's Missouri.
Yeah. In
Um,
Alabama.
Someone get this kid a map.
no, I'm terrible with geography. I am thinking of the Saints though. Drew Brees had a big thing for So I mean, I am thinking of the right shit. I'm just wrong.
Alabama.
Like,
So Florida, Alabama's up this way.
Right off the panhandle.
Right off the little fucking nut. Boom.
Is that the blue one? I can't see that.
That's the blue one.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
See, I
it's
thought it
literally
was a
right
state-
off the panhandle. Yeah.
I thought it was a state end. That's Kentucky.
It's Kentucky. It's actually Tennessee, but yeah.
Yeah, close enough.
Even saw the map and still don't know.
Yeah, so, you're not neighboring Ohio. Fuck y'all. You're lucky I know where California and Florida are.
You're lucky he knows where Ohio is.
For real.
What's that big state up above us?
You put me in a blank state and I could label this is where the corn is, where the hurricane. You don't want to live anywhere on the borders where the idiots live.
Okay,
So-
that's all I got.
Oh,
I don't even
All right.
know what that thing was about. Now I'm lost in the fucking states.
yeah, this became a geography lesson.
Oh, that's where that Mer woman was.
Nope, that was one ago. This was the children's playground thing.
Oh, okay, yeah, children's playground.
Yeah.
Brought my children off of
Oh.
that.
And Arizona has its own version of Bigfoot
What's it called?
called
Bigfoot 2.0.
yeah, the Big D. Mogollon monster. It's said to be more than 7 foot tall with deep set red eyes and very long fur. Sightings date back to 1908.
So it looks like a Wookiee with red eyes.
Looks that way.
It looks like Bigfoot. You could just say Bigfoot. Everybody knows what Bigfoot's supposed to look like.
Ooh, speaking of
Red
Florida.
eyes.
Speaking of Florida. Well, all right, this one's gonna be stupid, but I'm gonna say it anyways. So Florida drivers should put their car in neutral at Spook Hill in Lake Wales. Lake Wales. A spirit lurking nearby pushes cars uphill.
Uphill.
Save on gas, buddy.
As soon as you say put it in neutral on a hill, I was skeptical. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, a ghost will push you down. The ghost is gravity.
Yeah.
But there's also if you put your car in neutral on a level plane, it'll kind of want to propel forward too, if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, but I think that's why they throw it in. They throw in the uphill thing.
Yeah,
Just
to make it seem like it's more impressive.
yeah.
Actually back there hoofing it.
Okay, there's two of them that are kind of weird. So in Georgia, Lake Lanier outside of Atlanta was created by flooding a valley that
Heard of
swallowed by flooding a valley that swallowed at least one cemetery, and the spirits of the people who are now in the watery graves apparently reach out to swimmers spending a day at the lake.
Oh yeah, this is Lake Lanier, dude. This is actually a real thing. You could go scuba diving in this cemetery, and the pictures you bring up of Lake Lanier are crazy creepy. So like it combines the fear of a cemetery and your water fears at the same time, dude. And it's great. You got pictures up right now, Brandon?
No, but I can find some.
Yeah, dude, I've seen them before. I've listened to podcasts. What's those? What's those one chicks that talk about murder and stuff all the time?
Mm.
It's a chick podcast. They only talk about like murders and crazy
I
events.
know what you're talking about. How do I reverse my thing?
He used to do it all the time. What do you mean reverse it?
Like to show, or I guess, never
Share.
mind.
You screen share it.
Boop. Lake Lanier. I don't know if y'all can see that.
Yeah,
Whoa,
see what I
that's
mean?
cool.
That's fucking badass right there.
Creepy as fuck. Like a whole, it's not even just a cemetery. From what I heard, it's town, a whole town underwater.
Well, yeah, if they flooded a village, it could be anything.
What the hell is that?
That's
Oh, is that like a movie or something?
yeah, I was gonna say that's looks like a poster cover. You have a Leo Pleurodon in there, okay? Like there has been there's been sightings of the Lake Lanier monster, aka Nessie of Lake Lanier, but that'd be crazy. I don't believe in that. Why would they surface
It
to
is.
an area
Yeah.
like that?
Oh, damn, look at that thing.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, but that one and the one next to it are two different things.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
One's just a real big catfish with a overbite or an underbite.
Yeah.
The other is a long neck.
Look at the one in the top left corner. Go scroll up a little bit, top left corner, Brandon.
This one?
Boom. Real. Real. A baby Nessie
You
in a not from an anonymous throwaway. Who throws a picture like this away if you got a dinosaur?
would, yeah, you would be all over the news.
Yeah, exactly.
Ain't nobody. Yeah, that's dumb.
Another tourist attraction. But it's a tourist attraction enough just knowing that you can scuba dive and go underwater and see a flooded town.
That kind of would be sweet to do.
Yeah. Well, I'd be so terrified.
Oh, absolutely, me too.
Yeah, fuck these, dude. I wanted to see underwater pictures of Lake Lanier.
Yeah,
Like, go down, scroll down. It was just there. I literally just said Lake Lanier underwater. Right there. Related searches, Lake Lanier underwater. I want to see what I mean? Doing stuff like, look at that. That's got to be planted. Oh, that's on Pinterest. That's why.
Underwater ghost town of North Georgia.
See, there's YouTubers with a Lake Lanier dive. How awesome would this be?
there's cars.
Lake Lanier car, van with missing man. Damn. See, I would love to do something like this.
Movie to reveal truths about Oscarville, a town hidden beneath Lake Lanier in Georgia.
Ooh, it was called Oscarville.
That is crazy.
Nice. Okay. I want to get stuck on Lake Lanier, but this is
Yeah, we just sit here and look at all pictures for the rest of the podcast.
yeah, no shit. Hell yeah, good shit, Brandon. I've heard of a lot of these, especially Lake Lanier. Lake Lanier interested the fuck out of me, so I started researching it on my own.
Do you have any more, Brandon?
No.
All right, I'll go ahead with mine. Mine's a little bit lengthier, and it's just one. And I chose to pick from an area around me, actually. It's called the Urban Legend of Gore Orphanage Road. It's a legend. The actual road name is just Gore Road, and it'll say it in here. But there was an orphanage on that road where some crazy stuff may or may not have happened. So, the Urban Legend of Gore Orphanage Road. For over a century, visitors to Gore Orphanage Road have reported strange experiences of glowing lights, apparitions, and chilling cries of unseen children. The area is said to be one of the most haunted locations in Ohio. Despite the inaccuracies of the Gore Orphanage legend, the true tale of the institution and the Swift's Hollow Mansion, which was the owner's house that was attached, that was a part of the same land, are more haunting than fiction. Over the course of time, 3 tales of terror have been woven into the horrific legend of torture, fire, and the paranormal. It's a nightmarish scene in the countryside of Vermilion on Gore Road over 100 years ago. A gigantic fire engulfs an old orphanage, burning dozens of young children alive. Desperate to escape the inferno, the children on the second floor found the stairs blocked by flames. Dreadful screams of the children trapped inside the blazing building pierced the ears of the horrific onlookers. Unable to stop the carnage, the deadly destruction continues until the screams finally fall silent, and the only sound that lingers is a crackling and roar of the hellish flames. The smoke ascends in the night sky, carrying with it the souls of over 100 poor orphanage children. The building is soon reduced to a pile of glowing embers, with the only remnant of the foundation and stone pillars forever preserved in the future generations to happen upon it. Were the spirits of the helpless children extinguished with the flames, or do they still cry out in the middle of the night from beyond the grave? Do the lost souls wander the area, forever tortured by the reality too difficult to accept? Was the fire sparked by an orphan boy dropping a lamp? Which, that question doesn't really make sense to me, because I've read this whole thing. It's 5 pages long, which I'm going to cut down a little bit. And not once do they mention anything about somebody dropping a lamp. Or perhaps was it initially set by old man Gore, the abusive man who ran the institution, for insurance or just plain sadistic torture? So is the legend of Gore Orphanage. So a little bit of backstory here. The people who own this also owned another orphanage in Indiana, I believe it was. That one was also set to fire and burned down. So they moved out here, bought another orphanage.
So that crazy bitch is just fucking setting that thing.
So honestly, that's what it sounds like, because they have that one at their house. Like, so either a ghost is following them or setting their stuff on fire, or someone's really bad with flames, whoever's working for them.
Yeah.
Or this dude actually did set all of his stuff on fire for insurance money, which is more likely to me.
Yeah, insurance money definitely seems to be the culprit.
So Light of Hope is what it's actually called. The actual name of the orphanage. It was established in 1902 by a religious zealot named Reverend Johann Sprunger. The orphanage was located on Gore Road. The road was originally laid out along the boundary dividing Lorain County and its western neighbor, Huron County. And that's obviously 2 different counties here in Ohio. When a surveying error was discovered, a thin strip of land made it look like a dress, had to be annexed to Lorain. It was given to Lorain. I'm going to skip all that because it doesn't really make sense. The owner, Johann Sprunger, and his wife, Katrina, moved to Vermilion. Here we go. To the Vermilion area after their former orphanage in Bernie, I don't know, Berne, Bern or Bernie, kind of weird, Indiana, was destroyed by a fire, like I said. Katrina was the daughter of Christian P. Sprunger, through no explanation has ever been given regarding Christina's surname. I don't know why that's relevant. Prior to moving to Ohio, the couple also lost their 7-year-old daughter, Hilaganda. Hilaganda? I don't know.
What year was this, Corey?
19. When did they move?
No, what year are you talking about right now with Christina losing her baby and stuff?
Well, it doesn't really say. In the same sentence, it says it was the Light of Hope was established in 1902. So it had to have been before this.
Because I'm looking at Katrina Sprunger.
That oh, that's what they're saying. That they don't know her name.
Oh,
Johann Sprunger and wife Katrina, they never say her last name, moved to Vermilion area. So Katrina Sprunger is probably the same person.
I'm gonna screen share what I'm seeing right now because it's a picture of them. Reverend A. John A.
Yes. So
Catherine
yeah, that's them.
Sprunger. Okay. I just want it's about Crybaby Bridge. I just wanted to make sure I'm on the right page. Sorry.
I've never heard of that one. That's crazy.
I was actually going to write shit about Crybaby Bridge.
They're involved in another. Probably got something to do with fire too.
Oh, it is. It's the same story you're going over. I just was Gore Orphanage. It's all about that. That's the founders and Earth People of the Land or whatever. That began it all. That's why I didn't know if you were talking about later date that Christina could be Katrina's daughter. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because it said she lost 3 kids too.
Yeah.
So I was hoping we were talking about the same person, but you also said they don't know the name.
Yeah. It said they lost Hilaganda, never heard of a name like that, and a son, Edmund, both died at birth. The son died at birth. The deaths appeared to spark a passionate obsession for religious pursuit in the couple. Makes sense.
Yeah, he's a reverend. The guy's a reverend.
So, but the rumors of darkness and despair soon plagued the Light of Hope orphanage. Orphan children ran away from home, often wading through the Vermilion River, to escape to Vermilion. These children told horrific stories of abuse, neglect, and slave labor. The children were said to eat a diet of calf lungs, hog head, and sick cattle. That's gross. Beef lungs, pig head, and sick beef. If they were fed at all. Corn was boiled in the same pot used to boil soiled underwear.
Oh, yummy. What a mixture.
You keep the broth for the flavor.
Yeah. No need to add your salt. It's already there. It never boils out.
Although the cows were on the farm, children were said to have often only given butter once a week and occasionally pepper and sugar.
Occasionally you get some seasoning.
Yeah. Put that under your underwear soup.
I'd be saving it for. Flavor that bitch up.
Yeah. The children's rooms were infested with rats and vermin. On occasion, the rats crawled on the beds and bit the children while they lay asleep. They were said to only bathe that only one bathtub for the boys, which were allowed to use once every 2 weeks, and they had to use the same water.
That's what they did. That's what they did during the Great Depression, though.
That's insane.
Saved bathwater. Yeah, I know. It's gross.
Children told stories of Sprunger and the farm overseeing beating them with a strap until great raw welts appeared on their bodies.
No, Daddy, no!
Yeah.
You use foul language in front of a lady? No, Daddy.
Sprunger would also rent out the inmates of the home. What? Sprunger would also rent out the inmates of the home to their neighboring farmers.
They had inmates?
You're contracted over here today, boy.
Oh, unless they were calling the children the inmates.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I took off right away. Like, here, I have a worker on my farm. He's not doing shit. Let me contract him out to you for fucking 5 pesos.
That makes sense. This was literally 26 minutes away from where I live. they're not using pesos.
That's what I mean. Some type of currency.
I just read that illness and disease were alleged to be treated by only prayers. Witnesses stated children received a lack of regular schooling. Obviously, if you ain't feeding the kids, you ain't bathing them, you ain't teaching them for sure. So that makes sense.
Teaching them to be a slave. That's it. That's the learning curriculum right now.
Mr. Springer died 2 years after the investigation, which the investigation being oddly a place near Cleveland caught on fire, and they had to investigate that. And he was a suspect or something like that.
Jeez.
And the doors of the orphanage were permanently closed on July of 1916. So that means it was open for what, 14 years that kids were going through this stuff?
God damn. Nobody even decided to look. That's so fucking, that's nuts.
They didn't make it past the Vermilion River.
So yeah, pretty much. The children of Light of Hope orphanage were dispersed throughout the community or returned to their relatives or guardians. And the nightmare was over for the children. Yeah, so I mean that there's a bunch of other stuff here, but I think it's, just kind of fluff for the story.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen again just to give some context to how landlocked this place kind of was. Because here's a map. If you look at this, the Vermilion River Reserve is marked out. Clear to your left side, you got Gore Orphanage Road. That's where it got its famous name. And then Vermilion River cuts through right here. So that's the river. People were trying to escape this Vermilion River. It was almost like a moated around, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, it's kind of like a baby peninsula.
Exactly. That's where it got its name. Lightweight, obviously. You mentioned peninsula as well. But yeah, that's exactly how landlocked they kind of were. Vermilion River created a natural defense to keep the children in. And so they had to cross over the Vermilion River. There's a burned down ruins of a foundation. There's the Vermilion River Bridge is said to have ghostly sightings, which makes sense if children are pathing away in the river trying to get across. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it says the legend even started a film called Gore Orphanage.
Yeah, that was
You can watch on
came out
YouTube.
in 2015. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's right there.
So
Yep.
can you, after you're done looking through this, can you just pull up some images? I'm just curious.
Of the film.
Yeah, of the movie.
So while you're doing that, I got one more quick thing. Paranormal investigators say the ghosts of Gore Orphanage Road may actually be imprints or snapshots in time. Frequently, violent or traumatic events seem to release energy to imprints on a place or object. Basically, these are like movie ghosts, is what they're trying to say. Like, when you see something, they're going to be when you see a ghost, they're not like just strange kids. They're gonna be wearing like the old timey whatever they were wearing back in the early 1900s and stuff.
Yeah, they're not going to interact with you. They're just replaying their stained memories, echoes, if you will, if that's what you want to believe.
Yeah, echoes is a bit.
You can't interact. They won't interact. They will just replay a certain moment in their life.
Yeah, that's much betterly explained.
Did you see this, Brandon?
Nellie, a young girl in the 1930s, is orphaned and sent off to Gore Orphanage. There is Miss Pryor rules with iron fist.
Miss Pryor rules.
There, Miss Pryor rules with an iron fist. Huh. Weird.
Pocketing the money allocated for the care of the orphans, aided by Ernest, the German handyman who speaks little but is rumored to have special playtime with certain girls in the orphanage, and Miss Lillian, the sympathetic teacher whom all the children look up to. Nellie befriends Buddy and Esther, but soon the harsh life of the orphanage becomes even worse when children start to die. Obviously, it's not about Gore Orphanage, it's about a specific girl and people in Gore Orphanage. Obviously, for movie format. But interesting. I didn't know they had a movie until today. So, but I knew about Gore Orphanage. This is a good one. It's kind of nice. We got the land look too to see. Look at this. We can be mini detectives, dude. I got a whiteboard behind me. Need a cork board. I'll start drawing making some string connections.
I was gonna say now we need the budget for string and thumbtacks.
Right. I'll say we'll bust this serial arsonist.
No, I thought that was a cool one to go to because it's literally, a half-hour drive from where I live right
That's
now.
what I liked about the shit. It's actually feasible to go to these places for us.
Yeah, that would be cool to stand on the bridge and get a little video.
Oh heck yeah! This is what we were talking about. Episode 10 of Manic Minds. We need an episode number, damn it.
This is 18.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Yep. Look at how proud he is.
It's not. It's me sucking on a cough drop.
That's not pride. That's a cavity brew.
Mere death.
You know what you look like, Cody, when you did that? When you did that, you look like Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
Oh yeah.
No, that's funny.
Remember when we used to have Bub always say this South Park line? Just,
Yeah.
we can't have Christmas without the star on it. So we can't have a Christmas tree without the star on it. Oh fuck.
I always get that one, and I can do a good when my voice isn't messed up. I can do a good Brian from Family Guy, but like the messed up version when Stewie clones him.
Oh yeah,
He
stupid
goes,
Ryan.
yeah, he goes, "Did you paint my car?" He's like, "No, but I hit it with a rock."
So
Or he's like, "Did you wash my car, not paint it?"
He's trying to have him do all the chores around the house, and they're so
Yeah.
fuck it up for him.
Did you wash my car? No, but I hit it with a rock.
Bub, how far of a drive are you from Cleveland?
25 minutes.
So that Boston, Ohio?
That was sad. I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's literally in Cleveland's backyard.
Oh, nice.
So that's another one up by you. Unless I'm looking at the wrong fucking thing, but Boston, Ohio.
There's got to be only one Boston, Ohio. Damn it! There's already a Boston, Massachusetts, and Ashland, Kentucky. You know what I mean? Like,
I gotta see.
you have two of the same town names in one fucking state.
Oh, yeah. It's a 43-minute drive.
Is it Boston, Ohio, or New Boston? Because there's a New Boston, Ohio that's 40 miles away.
Say Boston, Ohio is like literally 2 towns away from me.
That's probably that one.
I've probably driven through it.
Okay, so it does say Boston, Ohio. So up by you, bub.
All the tragedies happening near Cleveland.
Film Helltown is a documentary about a teenager's mysterious disappearance, a cult, and a military mission gone wrong.
Oh, okay. I'm definitely looking into this. I love cults.
I love being in a cult.
I don't like being in it. I just like knowing about different ones. Like some people are like the Jonestown cult. That would be some good ones to get into. The Marilyn Manson cult. Like, I mean, there's tons of different famous cults. The FBI is lightweight a cult.
Well, I mean, technically everything could be considered a cult.
That's what I tell people when they are looking at joining the army. I was like, all right. And then I asked them, I was like, you ever been a member of a gang organization? And then or whatever, like KKK, fucking cults, shit like that. Like, no. I was like, well, you're about to be.
You
like
sure
the
you
army,
want to do this?
like the army gets real culty.
I mean, it's literally just how you, because you want everybody in the cults to be thinking a certain way, to be doing stuff the same way. I mean, it's just, I'm not saying all cults are good or all cults are bad, but what I'm saying is it's a, how do I explain this?
It's almost like a religion. It's a moral driver. How you live
life,
yourself with good morals and
it's like if I have a business. It's a weird comparison.
culture.
I want everybody to be, you know, eat, sleep, and breathe sports because that's what a business I would have. Therefore, you could look at that and be like, "Oh, that's culty," you know.
Mm-hmm.
The cultee just forces the culture upon the attendees.
Pretty much.
Speaking of cults,
Oh, what do
so
you
there's
Tenders.
cult,
got?
there's actually apparently some cults in Ohio.
There's
So
culture.
the restored Church of God in Wadsworth. Oh boy, that's a
Sound about right. There ain't nothing to do in Wadsworth.
that's a rabbit hole you don't want to go to. When a church has locked key carded gate access, you know there's a problem.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Wadsworth? So there's more than God getting spread around.
They bought up every single house along the road that the headquarters is on. My hairdresser's husband did some carpentry finish work there, and there is a key card access inside as well. This
Yeah.
is from eyewitness accounts on the cult.
It also could be like there's literally nothing to do in Wadsworth except vandalism. So you kind of want to keep your stuff nice.
True.
And say,
So
what?
it's like that fine line. It's like that fine line because parts of Cleveland are bad.
Yeah.
But they still have businesses that are under basically lock and key, you know, bars on the windows and key cards to get in and gates around their businesses.
Yeah, but buying up the house on the blocks
Well,
around.
that's all the city. And if it's they said houses, but what if they're dumps? Yeah, they can still be houses, but you know, Wadsworth has got a bunch of like abandoned places,
It
just
could
like
be
everywhere else.
just trying to gentrify the whole town themselves.
It could, yeah.
So apparently they are an end times apocalyptic cult.
Oh, maybe
All their
not.
that takes all their believers' money.
Yeah, it's all cult, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's good.
I guess reading former members' websites.
Well, I mean, I pay to a union too. That's the same thing. It's a cult.
Yeah.
So Dove Outreach in Waverly, which is close by me.
That where the lizards, the wizards live.
Yeah. The Wizards of Waverly Place.
Good old Disney reference for you.
The all right, family incest cult. Here we go.
Pass.
Three people currently
He
serving.
said it was by him too.
If you want to crazy read some articles, the Bel Air family and Deputy Jimmy Childs from Athens County fucking live 30 minutes from Athens. Yeah.
Join up.
You guys
Yeah.
about this from Kentucky.
The Ernest Angley Church here in Cuyahoga is definitely a cult.
Why does that name sound familiar?
Ernest Angley, yeah.
It does sound familiar. The Grace Cathedral and all that bullshit. They even have their own local television channel broadcasting their brainwashing to the masses.
Oh, I think that's why.
I'd like to watch it
That's
just to see what it's like if they're really trying to brainwash you. You know what I mean? There's brainwashing, and then there's just having a TV show about your shit. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
Korea type brainwashing. Yeah, I've seen some of that. I'll be the judge of how big the brainwashing is. Yeah, dude. How dare you approach the computer without giving me a granola bar? An almond one. Go.
You better get that fucking goddamn dirty underwear soup water ready.
Yeah.
What we're having tonight.
That's crazy. I read through that whole thing except for that one of the last pages. I did not know that they were serving undie soup.
Undie soup. If it doesn't boil down good enough, you can scrape the flamunda cheese.
Yeah.
Sprinkle it on top. Oh yeah, cashew.
Okay. Hey, so that's going to be it for this episode of Manic Minds podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on all of our platforms. Graveyard, Balls on a Budget, and Sports Beast, Facebook and YouTube. Let a rip, Tater Chip. Peace.